I was recently thinking about some of the hardest things you have to do in leadership. And one of those things, especially when you're first starting in leadership, is having a tough performance conversation. When someone goes outside of the expectations and the onus falls on you, the leader, to make that person aware. How to navigate that conversation is not natural. It doesn't come easy. And if you think it comes easy to you, I'd say you might have a bit more to learn on the situation. And the reason it came to mind is I was having a chat with my oldest son who was witnessing some conflict and some disagreement. And he saw both sides. And he was close to people on both sides. And he was torn because eventually, you're going to have to end up on one side of this thing or the other. You can't ride the middle forever. So in our chat, I said, you're learning a complex lesson. And I was involved too. So I said, and so am I. And truthfully, I was. Life is not as cut and dry as heroes and villains. And that kind of bounced back, and I heard my own voice and thought, I remember some of those early performance conversations with people on teams that I led. And I was too hard because I was anxious. You know where that came from? That came from my anxiety of navigating a tough type of communication that I haven't had to navigate before. So I put that person, because they had done something wrong according to our agreed upon expectations, I put them in the role of the villain. And I addressed them as such and came across too hard, with no compassion, with no understanding. And I want to share this so that I can challenge every leader watching, every person watching, to not put their team who are outside of the performance expectations in the role of the villain. Does it mean that everybody gets away with whatever? Absolutely not. Does it mean that we will always agree with our teams? Absolutely not. Does it mean that the tough conversations go away? No, it doesn't. That's still a reality. That's still a responsibility. But if you validate the complexity of the individual and avoid putting them in the role of the villain and just address them as a person and be honest and be straightforward with the expectations in comparison to the action they took, you can know that you've done everything possible to lead them right and respect them along the way.